are you making summer vacation plans? Make sure you don't forget to include your four-legged family members. Whether you're hitting the road or flying in the friendly skies, you want to make sure that your pet is comfortable and safe. Amy DePauli is with Pet Value, and she joins us today with some tips on traveling with your pets. Thank you so much for coming to the Pet Show today, Amy.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, let's start with road warriors. So,
yes.
You know, we were just talking, you came down from Philly today.
I did. Yes, I did.
Not too bad of a drive, but if you had had a dog bouncing around the car, it might have made for a little bit of distraction.
Absolutely. And one of the big things that's happening right now is a big focus on having a distracted driver, as we know with texting and driving, or you know, needing to use the hands-free devices and things like that. Now the law enforcement's sort of extending that focus to include driving with your pets, and many of our states have pretty significant fines and things like that if you're driving with your dog or your cat that could cause a distraction to you. So it's important that we follow a few simple tips, and I can share those with you now.
Absolutely. Let's show us. You guys have some pretty cool products at Pet Value for keeping them safe and keeping them off of your lap and out of your face.
Exactly. So the rule number one is that you always want to make sure that your dog is harnessed into the car so that it serves more or less as a seatbelt for your dog.
And we have an example here on Poppy.
We do.
Poppy. Stand up? Poppy, stand up. Let's show.
Hi, Poppy.
There we go. So we've got an example
perfect on Poppy.
It does. It fit him perfectly. It's like it was made for him. And so this one basically goes directly around, just like a normal harness.
Yes,
but then you put your seatbelt through.
It's actually on the front. There's a piece that has a carabiner attached to it, which is not on there at the moment, but the carabiner would then attach to the seatbelt. So it keeps the dog, you know, so they can move about, but they're still safe in the car. So that's rule number one. They come in various sizes, so you know, you just want to check with, as we like to call it, your local pet expert as far as what is the right size for your dog.
Which in DC, if you're wondering, that's me.
Or Pet Value.
Or Pet Value. Okay.
And if you have a small, a harness should always be used. If you have a small dog and you would put your dog in the front seat or something like that, we also recommend that you use a booster seat, which is like what we have right here.
One of these right here.
Exactly. And there are many different things that you can use to kind of keep your dog safe in the car while keeping your car safe. There are hammocks that keep your seats intact. They kind of hang over your seat. You can still use your harness with it. It blocks the, it's kind of a barrier sort of effect, so the dog can't get into the front seat. It blocks that open area, so that's an important thing too. So those are kind of the key things that you want to think about when you're traveling with your dog in your car. It's definitely making sure that they're restrained at all times.
And you know, one of the other things too, I mean, definitely because of distraction, I mean, it's very difficult to drive if you've got a little dog crawling all over your lap. But the other thing is too, especially with a dog the size of Poppy, if you are in an accident, they can become a massive projectile in your car and can be extremely dangerous if you were to get into an accident. So having them restrained is not only helpful to keep distractions away, but also could potentially save the life of you or one of your children.
Yep.
So now, if we're going to get on an airplane, what do we need to have?
The number one thing is that you check with your airline and you check with the TSA before you go to the airport, because you want to make sure that you have all of the right size and weight and all of that kind of stuff for the proper carrier. They change those things all the time, and the last thing you want to do is get to the airport and have to buy a new ticket because you missed your first flight because Fido or whoever couldn't come with you.
So we'll have to move through this part a little bit quickly, but so you want to make sure that it's an airline approved carrier. And if they are flying in the cargo area, then you definitely need to make sure that it's not too hot or too cold for them to fly. And then finally, we've got some little products here for travel anxiety as well.
Yes, and you know, pets, they get very anxious about flying, and so there's lots of different natural supplements that you can give your pet, cat or dog, that help them with some of those anxiety issues. There's one here that we're showing that is made specifically for travel, but there are other calming supplements. And another thing to always make sure of is that your pet is hydrated. And give them their comforts of home to make them as comfortable as they can and feel as relaxed as they can. So we have a little cute little easy piece here that you can just attach to the top of a water bottle, which is a great way to hydrate your pet regularly.
Awesome. And you guys have this wonderful travel section in all of your stores.
All of our
Pet
Value stores, absolutely, and you can find a store at petvalu.com.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Amy,
Thanks
for coming,
having me.
and we
This
hope
is
to have
great.
you guys back again sometime soon.
That would be great. We'd love it.
All right, everybody keep it right here. There's a lot more ahead, including information on the 5th annual No Kill Conference right here in Washington, D.C.